Adana grew up as the poor girl. In the village square, children pointed at her tattered clothes. Mothers warned their sons, "Don't marry that girl, she has nothing." Her only comfort was cooking. When she stirred soup, the smell traveled through compounds and made even the proudest neighbor swallow hard. Still, no one believed she could make anything of herself. One day, after being mocked again, she whispered to herself, "One day, they will beg to eat from my hands." The river had always frightened her. People said it swallowed lives. But when she stood there at dusk, she felt a strange peace. The sound of water seemed to call her name. She ignored it and built her little hut, telling herself she had found freedom at last. Her first day of cooking by the river, a passing fisherman brought a bowl. He finished it in silence, then burst out crying. "This food tastes like my late mother's hands." He returned the next day, and the next. Soon, people came from far away. Her dream was alive. At night, she noticed the pot never truly cooled. Even after the fire died, her soup still bubbled. Sometimes, when she stirred, shadows appeared in the steam, faces, hands, eyes. She told herself it was just her imagination. Until the night the river spoke. From the waters rose a figure crowned with dripping weeds and scales. His voice was deep, pulling at her bones. "Your food pleases because I touch it. But blessings demand payment." Adana trembled. "What payment?" "Blood. Feed me, and I will make your hands greater than any woman's. Refuse, and you will taste your own despair." Tears filled her eyes. She had suffered so much already. Could she really lose this chance? With a shaking hand, she tied a rooster and placed it by the shore. The river swallowed it whole. Her fame spread across villages. Traders came with gold. Chiefs traveled days just to taste her stew. Women who once mocked her now knelt to beg for recipes. Adana wore new wrappers and jewelry. At last, she walked proudly through the market. But inside, she was chained. The gods' whispers followed her everywhere, "More. More." At first, she gave goats. Then fowls. But the river grew greedy. "The taste of man is sweeter," it hissed. Adana resisted. Until one night, a stranger knocked, hungry and tired. She fed him, but when he dozed by her fire, her hands shook as she dragged him to the river. She wept as his screams split the night. The river roared with delight. The next morning, her soup tasted like heaven itself. Customers said it cured their sickness, their sadness, their pain. And Adana cried into her pot as they licked their bowls clean. The disappearances grew. Mothers whispered, "Our sons go to the river but never return." Fathers murmured, "The river is hungrier than ever." But who could suspect Adana, the gentle woman who fed everyone? She smiled at children, gave discounts to the poor, and cooked as though her soul was pure. Yet at night, her nightmares were filled with faces she had sacrificed, eyes staring, mouth screaming. Uche, a hunter with a broken heart, noticed the pattern. His brother vanished after visiting Adana's place. So he waited in silence by the tall grasses. What he saw broke him. Adana dragging a tied man, sobbing, begging forgiveness. The river god towering, his mouth opening like a cave. And the man's cry swallowed by water. Uche could not scream. He ran to the elders, shaking with terror. The villagers gathered with torches, marching in fury. Adana, hearing their chants, fell to her knees. "I didn't want this. I only wanted respect. I only wanted to be seen." Her voice cracked, heavy with pain. The river exploded. The god rose, clutching her in his arms. She screamed as he whispered into her ear, "Did you think you owned your dream? It was always mine." Her nails clawed at the earth, leaving blood trails, as the god dragged her under. The villagers watched, torn between fear and sorrow. Some wept, because they knew she had only wanted love, but she had chosen the wrong master. Her restaurant was set on fire. The smell of burning wood mixed with the eternal aroma of soup. A haunting reminder of the woman who wanted more than life gave her. After Adana vanished beneath the waters, the river grew restless. Crops near the riverbank withered, and fishermen found their nets empty. The people believed the god was still hungry, angry that his servant had been taken away. Children cried at night, claiming they heard a woman's voice calling their names from the river. Some elders said, her spirit is trapped, forced to cook for the river god for eternity. Others whispered, her soul wanders, begging for forgiveness she will never receive. The once thriving village fell into sorrow. The very place where they had eaten joyfully became a place no one dared approach. Months later, strange things began to happen. A young boy swore he saw Adana standing by the riverbank at dawn, her eyes hollow, her wrapper soaked. When he called her name, she smiled weakly, and vanished into mist. Travelers passing by claimed they smelled food so delicious, they nearly lost their minds with hunger. Some followed the scent, and were never seen again. Whispers spread, she has returned, but not as a woman. She is the river's bride. The villagers grew afraid. At night, families locked their doors tightly. Mothers warned children, never go near the river. If you hear a woman's voice, shut your ears and run. It is said that deep beneath the waters, an endless restaurant stands. Its tables are lined with spirits of those who vanished. Adana stirs her eternal pot, tears falling into the broth, flavoring it with sorrow. The river god sits at the head, devouring every meal, laughing as Adana serves him. Her voice is sometimes carried by the wind above, a mixture of cries, lullabies, and whispers of regret. And the curse lingers, every generation, one person is lured by the scent of her cooking. Those who follow it never return, becoming guests in her eternal restaurant by the river. Years after Adana's disappearance, a young girl in the village, Kayamika, began to dream. In her sleep, she saw a woman in rags, her hands burnt from endless cooking. The woman wept. "Child, do not build near the river. Do not follow the smell of food at night. For if you do, you will join me here, forever." When Kayamika woke, she could still smell the soup. She told the elders, but they silenced her. "Do not speak of the cursed woman." Yet the dream returned, stronger each night. A famine struck the land. The river's waters dropped low, and the people starved. One evening, a group of young men, desperate for food, claimed they smelled soup by the river. Against warnings, they followed the scent. Only one returned, eyes wide, lips trembling. He whispered of a shadowy restaurant beneath the waters, filled with ghostly diners. Adana herself had served him a bowl, smiling with tears in her eyes. "Eat, and you will never leave," she told him. He dropped the bowl and ran. That night, he died in his sleep, his lips still wet with soup. The elders gathered and declared, Adana is no longer a woman. She is the river's bride, the mistress of the eternal restaurant. Her curse is not hers alone, but ours to bear. From then on, every generation told the tale to their children. Never build by the river. Never follow the smell of food at night. Never answer when a woman's voice calls from the waters. And still, the curse endures. Even now, travelers say when you pass the river at midnight, you will hear pots clanging, spoons stirring, and a woman's voice humming a sorrowful tune. The smell of soup will fill your nostrils, so rich you'll swear you're starving. But if you take one step closer, you will vanish, and another chair will be added to the ghostly restaurant beneath the river.